Game troops, welcome back to the Litanah Army. I'm Lit, and this is Fortnite Save the World. And what we're checking out today is the end game in this game any good? I know a lot of you are working hard to get through Plankerton, getting through Stonewood, you know, grinding your way through all those ghost towns in Canny Valley. So you're asking yourself, you know, what are you working towards and is it worth it? Which is a great question. I see that asked quite a lot about the end game of Fortnite Save the World. Now, there's a lot of changes I would make to the end game in Fortnite Save the World, which we'll talk about at the end because I do want to get your take on that. But to start with, what I tended to find is when I got to PL 100, so if you look at the map here, when I got to about PL 100, I kind of stopped doing the quest lines. So if you go to quests over here and you look in the quest log, you'll find that you've got the mission quest. Now, I stopped these ages ago. I don't even know how many more I've got to do. These are just kind of happening as I'm going through the game. I kind of just play what I want. This one will probably get done because I've just seen there's 115 epic perk ups. So that one is, you know, that one's pretty good. I'm going to be doing that one. But you know, a lot of the time, what you'll find yourself doing is doing a lot of the organic stuff. So you'll have your own goals. Now, the thing is, goals kind of stop once you get to this point. So once you get to about PL 100, maybe even earlier, you know, maybe even like PL 95, that kind of area, you tend to stop doing the missions because they'll just kind of happen while you're doing what you do. So the game stops setting your goals really. You can then start making your own goals. So then it becomes about, do you know, what weapons have you got? Do you know what have you got in your armory? Then it becomes about leveling up a pain train or a silent spectre or something new that's come out, and it just becomes about different things. I know a lot of people at this point tend to go for just amassing resources, and one thing that I do want to do, and if I wasn't a YouTuber I would be doing, is just amassing evolution mats. So things like epic perk up, things like reperk, lightning in a bottle, all these kind of things. I'll just be amassing these up so that I've got an absolute ton of them. Now, there's loads of videos on how to do that. You could farm the Storm King, do encampments, or do whatever you want. But some of these just mean that you're going to get your mission done. While you're farming for epic reperk, you're going to find that you're doing like I've got here, you know, you might find that you're doing a fight the storm, or you might find that you're doing something different. It totally just depends. It'll just totally happen organically, which is great. And it depends on what you're actually wanting to where you're going to focus your time, which is actually quite a great feeling, really. So some of the things that you can be doing, some of the goals that you could have in the end game. Now, the first thing that I think is a great one to look at, just to make note of, if you go to quests over here on the actual menu and you go down to quest log, you've got these challenges. Now, for me, these banners, these are the ultimate flex. Now, you can obviously do your storm shield defenses if you want to do that, your SSDs, if that's something you want to do. I kind of even stopped doing them, really. I do them with the Storm Riders, which is a Save the World community that I hang out in sometimes, or I do them with you guys in the Discord, or I do them with subscribers. So I sometimes do SSDs just for fun, but most of the time, you know, the ones I'm looking at, so if you look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, so this Talented Builder, Guardian Angel, World Explorer, and Play Well with Others. Now, these are actually really good flexes. If you've got any of these banners, these are the ones you want on. Even over the Frost Knight banners, these are the big ones. If I see someone with this banner, then I know they've put a lot of time into the game. So these are Talented Builder, so build structures in successful missions. I mean, look at that. You need 500,000 structures in successful missions to get that down. I know some of you, I mean, maybe David Dean's even got that. But for me, that would be the ultimate, you know, David Dean banner. Then you've got Guardian Angel as well. So save survivors in successful missions. Yeah, I walk past quite a lot of survivors. I kind of just walk by. So, you know, I'm not the good Samaritan in that sense. But save survivors in successful missions, this is a great one. That means if someone's got this banner that they've actually saved 10,000 survivors in successful missions, which is great. You've got World Explorer, so fully explore zones in successful missions, 513. I mean, how often do you go into missions and not fully explore the zone? But again, that's another great one to have. That doesn't look as good as the others, but it's still a really good one. If you can see someone with that, it means they've completed a really difficult challenge. And then you've got Play Well with Others, which is the challenge banner, so complete Play with Others missions. The thing is, if you've got a lot of friends or you've got a big social group, as I said, being a creator, you do have a lot of people to play with, you do tend to find that you don't go into that as much. So look, I'm only like, what, 10% of the way through that at the moment, but that's another great one that I could work towards, and I think that's good for a community person to actually have the complete Play with Others missions. It's a shame that it doesn't include, you know, there's not a challenge for playing group missions, so playing with your friends, that'd be a great one, and maybe that would have to be quite a lot as well. Maybe you'd have to make that more than Play with Others, so something even like 2,000, 2,500, that would be really cool. But the challenge banners are something that you could do in the end game and work towards, and although it is a bit of a grind, you know, it's something that's a massive status symbol. So the Frost Knight banner and these 4 banners are the big ones. Now, another thing you're working towards in the end game is survivor squads. Now, you need a lot of evolution mats for these to get these up where you want to get them. So one thing that I'm waiting on at the minute, for example, is lightning in a bottle. So if you look through here, I'm trying to get the first 3 there up to 114. I sent him up a little bit high, 114, and then this is where I'm up to. So this is the one that I'm going to put up next. So if I go to upgrade there, view evolution, and look, lightning in a bottle. That's what I'm waiting for, which means I need the shop to reset and I need to be playing the game. But again, this will happen organically, and I've amassed the others, so I've been grinding out Eye of the Storm, look there, so 320. Pure drops of rain I could do with a lot more of. I usually have about 2,000 of those. I'm down to my last 300, so we're quite low on those. Training manuals, I've done a guide on how to get those. They are easy to get. I've got like just under 5,000 of those, and it's just these lightning in a bottle, which I'm really short of at the minute. But at the minute, my game revolves around that. So once I've done that, this power level here is going to fly up in time. So my focus right now is evolution mats to actually get lightning in a bottle so that I can do my survivors up. But getting a full, a full group of survivors all maxed out and leveled up, that's a big part of the game. And also eventually, because if you look at this, for example, I want to get these matched up as well, so we can get a few more of these matched up to get some extra bonuses. But that's part of the end game. It's not like you ever run out of things to do towards the end of the game. Now, the good thing is, if you are like a maxed out player and you're working towards the end game, you are going to be in the best position to actually complete things like events. I know we've got the Love Storm event that's out at the minute, so you're going to be in like the best position to actually get through that. Now, the good thing what I like about the events is they tend to be accessible to most players. Once you've got through Stonewood and Plankerton, so the first 2 areas, Stonewood's a bit of a training area, really. It doesn't take that long. Plankerton takes quite a while. Kind of feels like it takes forever, but you know what? You do get a sense of achievement at the end of it, and the rewards that you get now throughout the missions are great. But if you are getting up to a higher level, you are going to get through the events a lot easier, and you're going to have a great time, or a better time, should I say, because I used to have a great time anyway in the old events. I remember doing Fort Nightmares, and I wasn't even halfway through Plankerton the first time around, and I still had a great time doing that. The other thing you can do is your missions. I usually let them build up, so I've got the 3, and if you look there, so I've got 240 gold, 240 gold, and 240 gold there as well. So, I've got a tidy amount to come on its way, and with those as well, I'm going to be getting some V-Bucks as well, which is always great, which, I can spend in BR, or I can spend on llamas, potentially, when they get some new ones out and things like that. But again, it's great. I mean, you might even be a collector. You might be someone who, once you've got all these, you might be looking to fill up the collection book, like the Super Shredder, for example. Now, I've got one, and I've got one in the collection book as well, so I wouldn't need that. But if I didn't have it, because I'm now at the end game, I would probably still pick that up, and then I would put it in. These other heroes I've actually got, copies of already. But again, if you want one for the collection book, just to put them in, then that could be worth it as well. So there's a lot to be doing at endgame. Really, the main things are you can do challenge banners, which I think's one of the more fun parts of the game. You can do the armory, so you can actually get your weapons and hero collection up and do out the collection book. You can do up your survivor squads, which is what I'm doing right now. That's main priority right now, which means you're going to be farming evolution mats, so things like the Storm King are great for that, or targeting specific missions. For those of you that don't know, there's a website called Storm Shield 1, and if there's a specific thing that you need, so be that, say, pure drops of rain, you can actually just go into Storm Shield 1, click on the thing that you want, and then it'll tell you what missions are available right now, so you don't have to go searching around the map to actually go looking for them. So I'll link that in the description down below, so you guys can find that super easy. And also as well, you've got events that you can be doing. I always enjoy the events, but it's because I'm not in any rush to do them, because there's no sort of pressure now on me in game to like bash through all the quests. I always felt like when I was going through Canny Valley especially, that it was kind of when I was doing the event, it was like taking me out or taking me away from what I should be doing. And when you get up to this level, it doesn't really matter. Once you get past about 95, 90 area, it doesn't really matter what the kind of event is. You can kind of stop what you're doing, move over to that, as long as the rewards are decent, which I think recently, certainly the rewards this year in 2019 have been absolutely great. And then obviously you want to be doing your daily missions each day. I went through a phase, I always change how I do things. What I used to do is log into Fortnite Save the World, always do the daily mission first, then I would get on to do whatever I was doing next. Now what I tend to do is I let the daily missions build up, so I've got like 3, and then I start working through them then. But again, even the daily missions sometimes can be done organically. Sometimes that's a thing where even if you're just playing a mission, you might be just doing a Ride the Lightning mission, but you might need 3 fire trucks. So it kind of can be done organically as well, but the game flows a lot easier a bit higher up. Now, one thing I said that I wanted to do is just actually talk about some of the things that they could do differently now that they've actually got to this stage. So now that you get up to PL 100, I would say, what are some of the different things that they could get? I mean, I'd like to see a rotating boss fight. I think that would be so good. So maybe once a month. Do you know, like, we've got the item shop now, so we've got the item shop with all the gold stuff in it, and we rotate stuff in there. But maybe rather than, like, when we got this, for example, so where is it? Let's go down here. So when we got the Sir Lancelot, so when we actually got this weapon, what I thought would be great is if you actually go into the map instead, and up here in Twine, for example, or maybe somewhere else in Twine, somewhere that you could get to, you had a rotating, like, boss, if you like a boss fight. So it was a 4-player mission, make it really tough, but something where you've kind of got to put some mechanics in there. So you've actually got to move in a certain way, or like Frostnite, you've got to learn how to beat it, and maybe give you a month to take down the boss. Maybe have it so that you only get so many shots at it. Maybe you can only go at him once a day, for example, to kind of stop the farming of him, but then keep that uniqueness to him as well. Maybe have it so that the boss's skills rotate. So the boss, maybe one time you're fighting a boss who's got a set of fire skills. Maybe the next week you're fighting the same boss, or the next time that you go in, the boss is using ice. Maybe you can use all different things and have a different skill set. Maybe you're fighting a sorcerer and you've got to break down an army of robots to actually get to him, or a wall of husks. Maybe it could be a bit like Gears of War. Do you know, when you have the waves, see how many waves that you can survive, but have it holding a point, so you've got to look after a point. I know David Dean spoke about where you have to actually go out and attack the husks, which we've recently got in some of the new beta store missions, which has been great, but why not evolve on that as well? You know, you've got up to this point in Twine now, home base is pretty secure, so we can actually start taking the fight to them, which would be great. But one thing I want to know, guys, is let me know in the comments down below what you think. Have you got an idea what we could do for endgame? What would you like to see in endgame? I know some people have spoke about raids in Discord. We had quite a good chat about that the other week, which was great. But let me know some of your ideas that you would like to see in the endgame of Fortnite Save the World. But guys, that's all we've got time for. If you're not part of the Litanah Army already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you are one of the troops, then make sure you drop me a like, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching this today, guys.